fighting octagon.
Oh,
And just like in The Quick and the Dead, where they had gunfights to the end, well, these will be fights to the end.
nice.
The cast is all martial arts on the Tombstone. This is when the Earps were parked over there and talking to Johnny Bean and Doc Holliday. And Texas Jack and Turkey Creek came out and had the gunfight.
Right.
They came out.
Okay.
Right now, we just have a bunch of smaller props because there were 3 buildings back here that are long gone. There were 2 right here, 1 on the other end. There were buildings behind Paul Newman's house, and these trees weren't here. And all the stalls have roofs on them, so it looks different in the movie. If you walk down there, they came around the corner. This building that we've been working on, that was Fly's photo studio.
I don't remember that at all.
Josephine was getting her risque picture taken.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So all the cowboys were up against this adobe. This adobe was put in for Tombstone.
Okay.
The Earps came around the corner. That walkway is left from the movie, and they stood forward abreast in front of those windows there. And then this is where all the cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So guess how long it took them to film that 30-second gunfight?
I can only imagine days.
3 days.
3 days.
He basically came into town and he boarded his horse in the last stall on the right. And in the movie, he tells the livery guys, "Don't go in that stall with that horse." Well, why not? Well, that horse will kill you. You drop a dime in there, kick it out with a pitchfork or something, but don't go in there. So the livery guy says, "Well, why would you have a horse like that?" Steve goes, "Well, it's a mother-in-law horse." He says, "You know what a mother-in-law horse is?" "No." "Well, I could throw my mother-in-law on that horse, send them both up in the hills, and I don't care if either one comes with." So then Steve goes down to the hotel where we'd be at. He got in a fight with Gentleman Jim Corbett and lost. And then he slept with his horse overnight. And then Dick Farnsworth, the great character. So the exterior was actually a girls' Catholic school in Nogales. So as Wyatt is walking up and supposedly in Glenwood Springs, he's down in Nogales. But he once into the door, then he comes into this building. And this was the sanitarium. Wyatt, or Doc Holliday's cot was right here.
Okay.
So Wyatt comes over, they play their last hand of cards. He gives him the book, My Friend Doc Holliday.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asks Wyatt to leave. And he notices his feet sticking up. And isn't that fun? So he shot that right here. So the plans in here is to get this rebuilt. And then we will set up some, we've got a bed that looks exactly like that. And we'll just kind of rebuild that. And it'll be a picture opportunity. People can lay in the bed like that. It's called The Warren at Breaker's Law. It started Neil McDonough, Dermot Mulroney, and Bruce Bartlett.
I actually put that in our listing to watch.
Yeah, I can give you a list before you go of a lot of the movies and stuff.
Cool.
And they use this quite a bit. They did some fix-up and stuff in here. But this is supposedly the most haunted thing in the set. This
Looks awesome, too.
We've had people leave here crying.
Wow.
What has been brought in here from outside, everything?
Well, this was from an old Wells Fargo bank. I don't know how old it is or where it was, but
It's definitely pretty close to period.
all this rebuilt so that we just have another street or alleyway that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Right now the guys are working on the back side. That building they're working on is actually a new building. That was where the Wells Fargo was in Tombstone, and it collapsed. So we're building a new building.
Wow.
And so we want to rebuild this and make it look like it.
You gotta get a shot of it. Lowe's.
Lowe's.
But this, if you remember the scene in Quick and the Dead where it was like Day of the Dead, that night scene with all the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone's hotel room was up there.
Okay.
And there's a shot from up there looking down this alley.
Oh, with the lights strung across the
You
alley.
can see the mark where the stairway used to go up there.
Right.
We tore that down because it was obviously not safe. But we can go through the backside here.
Go ahead.
I worry more about your. Wait a minute. I got all that vinyl.
So from the outside, it looks like 2 buildings.
Yeah.
But it's actually one single building. And this one was probably about as in bad shape as that 2-thirds brown one. But being the Oriental, we had to save it.
Yeah.
See, we're still working on it. You can see how the floor sinks and stuff underneath. You only can jack it up about an inch at a time.
Oh man,
Let
just flat.
Relax a little bit. Right.
Makes sense.
We're insulating and we're wiring up on the generator.
The proper saloon doors.
Yeah.
They've
We did have a couple bullet holes put in
yeah, I figured.
on purpose.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, this is the Redemption Saloon from The Quick and the Dead. This was built for. This was not standing during Tombstone.
Oh, okay.
This was built after Tombstone. In fact, where the bar is, we were standing. That's where the marshal's office was.